and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new edition of What the Truck. I'm your host, Malcolm Harris, joined by the dude, my dog, Michael Vincent. Hello, sir. How are you? It's good to see you. You are fantastic. You are fantastic.
Everything's turning green. Did you notice? Like it takes a half hour for spring to spring here.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like crazy.
It's just going to happen in an instant.
It's just bang. Everything's green. You just go, I smell Bradford pears. Everything's green.
That's it. Have you noticed anything different?
About you?
Well,
did you get a new wax for your dome?
I mean,
is that what it is?
Not today. I mean, on Monday I was a clean shave, and today this is like 2 days old.
Oh. Yeah. Are you talking about this magenta hue?
It's magenta. It's like, I feel like I'm on Mean Girls. On Mean Girls on Wednesdays they wear pink. So this is technically magenta though. And there's a reason behind this magenta, and I'm going to get into it in a second, but this is the new theme for the show, and we're going to talk about it. But
this wasn't like a random thing that just occurred?
Nah, this is something exciting.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Exciting. I like exciting.
I like exciting too. And
how do you keep an idiot in suspense?
I'm a teaser.
I'll tell you later.
You'll tell me. Shout out to, of course, production and everybody making this come true. Cody, this looks awesome. And what is awesome also is On Deck. Let's look at On Deck and who is to come on the show today, because we have two great guests. Kicking it off is going to be Tim Crawford. He is a repeat guest. He is going to be on the show, of course, the CEO of Tenstreet. Tim is phenomenal. If you guys remember our previous episode, he had a lot to talk about in terms of the operational side of the industry, driver hiring, retention trends, safety, compliance, all that. And then let's talk M&A. Jonathan Britva, he is the managing director at Republic Partners. He's going to be joining the show. I really enjoyed my pre-show call with Jonathan. We're going to be talking about the M&A landscape in terms of everything in the 3PL space and beyond in supply chain. So between Tim as well as Jonathan, you guys know we're going to have some awesome conversations.
So he's M&A.
M&A.
Right.
You can't spell Malcolm without M&A. Are you going to say Eminem?
No, I did all my research on MMA. I thought he was in MMA. Shoot. I'll be back later.
You'll be back later? Well, I want to show some love first off to our presenting sponsor, J.J. Keller. Transportation keeps moving and the risks keep changing. J.J. Keller keeps fleets informed and ahead of what's coming next. J.J. Keller is the trusted partner for a safer, smarter fleet. J.J. Keller, thank you guys so much, the sponsor of the month. And then also, speaking of the month of March, Sonar Blue to Blue. If you need freight market intel on the go, Blue to Blue puts real-time spot rates, lane-by-lane intelligence, and market conditions right in your pocket. Pocket? I said pocket. Pocket.
It's all right.
Download by March 31st and get your first 30 days free. No commitment, just smarter decisions. Search Blue to Blue in the App Store right now. All
Don't
right?
park it. Go Blue to Blue.
Go Blue to Blue. Just
there you
like
go.
that.
You just invented the tag phrase.
Yeah,
the
that
new
was
tag.
Beautiful.
It was fantastic.
And now finally, I do want to present the reason we are pink today is because we have, it's magenta. I'm sorry. We officially have a new sponsor here on What the Truck. Our supporting sponsor of the month is going to be T-Mobile for Business.
Woo!
Woo! Shout out to T-Mobile for Business. I appreciate you guys being here. And with that, let's hear from T-Mobile for Business right now.
Oh.
T-Mobile has the best plan on the best network. Just ask Kevin Bacon.
Today, business happens virtually everywhere. That's why you need Supermobile from T-Mobile. The best plan on the best network, letting you run your business from your phone like never before. In moments of high demand, T-Mobile's network adapts to put your business connection first.
Discover more at supermobile.com.
Best business plan based on combination of advanced network performance, coverage layers, and security features. Best network based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence Data 1H 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license and reprinted with permission.
Wow. Huge thank you to T-Mobile.
Everybody knows Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Even T-Mobile.
Even T-Mobile.
Is 6 degrees of bacon still a thing?
I think so.
It still probably is, right?
I think so. T-Mobile for Business, we appreciate you guys being a supporting sponsor of What the Truck this month.
Gosh, that guy's
of March.
He is, man. Dancing in the cornfields,
dancing in cornfields, all that good jazz.
If he had T-Mobile during Dirty Dancing, they'd have found that party. You know what I'm saying? Because they got the coverage.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure they would have.
All right, you want to talk about a little?
I don't know what I want to talk about.
You want to talk about the news?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
That's a good idea.
Let's look at this rail merger right now. All right, so looking at our first headline. All right, this one This is so funny.
I got you all messed up.
You got me just wild right now. All right, this is a real merger, and it's happening. And of course, critics are talking about this. What I loved about this from Stewart is the beginning of this. He wrote with Shakespeare, "What's past is prologue," meaning history sets the context for the present and dictates future events. All right, so looking at this, the Union Pacific chief executive, Jim Vena, fired back at critics of his blockbuster merger with Norfolk Southern, insisting it's not going to have a lasting price and service issues that have accompanied past transportation consolidations, even as it reshapes the U.S. supply chain. "Quote unquote, people have to quit looking backwards and look at what is possible." That's what he said.
Trust us, this time it's going to work.
Yeah.
Listen, I learned a new word researching this, and it's canonical.
Canonical. It sounds like
canonizing saints from the church, and it pretty much means, man, this is like the law of what happens now.
Yeah.
And it's like the disasters after rail mergers,
For sure.
starting with 1996, when Southern Pacific and UP did the same thing, right? So that's one of the issues, right? And that's what kind of he's talking about, the fear of what goes on, the loss of competition, it was a total fiasco when that occurred, and everyone, by popular opinion, right? Not by law, but popular opinion, in the past 30 years has been met with a period of severely bad service.
Now, Mike, isn't this going to help, though? Like, when you really think about it?
Well, it depends on who you think it's going to help. I mean, the real motivation behind this, a strong motivation behind this, shockingly enough, is money.
No way.
But specifically Wall Street, right? So you got all these Class 1 railroads and stuff like that they kind of have been underperforming just a tad. And just kind of the growth is not really there. It's not like people are laying track all over the place. You know what I'm saying? You don't see a lot of construction on new track or anything like that. I mean, the growth isn't there. So there's a push for things to do this, to spur some type of path towards growth, right?
Yep.
Other than you're just measly little about, because manufacturing and stuff like that, United States obviously has not been gangbusters as far as new.
No.
Now we're looking into the future where that could possibly happen, and hopefully are on the verge of that occurring. But I mean, there's another motivation there. But good? Is it good? Is it good for business? It's good for the railroad.
I think it's going to be good for modernization of the railroad.
Modernization, not so good for the 1.4 million truckloads that would be converted.
No, and that's what I was going to say. It's going to impact over the road and TL quite a bit.
Yeah. And shaving 2 days off of the coast-to-coast rail journey. Yeah, show me the money on that one.
Show me the money.
I believe it when I see that. But yeah. I mean, good for who?
That is
because I look at this and I go, look, when we talk about automation and trucking and stuff like that, I really thought automation and trucking, new lanes, center lanes, this type of stuff, coast to coast, long haul, boom, boom. Then you throw a guy in a truck and do the business, right? The jobs in trucking expand. The jobs in trucking are much better because you're home all the time. For those that don't really actually like being the cowboy out on the road, which there are those guys out there, and gals, no doubt about it. But and improves national security. And the economy and everything, right? Because it's all tied together. So I see it from that aspect, inefficiencies, et cetera, right? But
there's the gray elephant or the pink elephant in our case in this room.
The magenta elephant in the room. Magenta
is,
elephants on parade. That was a...
yeah, it's going to be a heavy impact.
So yeah, I mean, it's a heavy impact, right? Yeah. And then obviously the improvements and the competition, et cetera, is all well and fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but there's some transparency that I don't fully understand that I'd love to dig into with an expert more about the pulling back on Schedule 5.8. The redaction of can they pull out or not, and somehow that
didn't really make sense to me either. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Well, the overall theme that there's some cryptic or transparency issues there that the STB would like to see before they move forward, and he's saying, well, we don't show you everything, and he even said, well, the 17 houses that I own, I won't show you the contract on all those either.
Our competitors.
Due to our competitors. That to me is a red flag as well. Yeah. So but I don't know. I see it as good for logistics overall not so great if it takes or a portion of the 1.4 million truckloads that leave were yours.
Considering
Not so
that
great.
with all it's crazy. You guys can make your own decisions and check out this article right now. It's live in the top story section on FreightWaves.com. Another question for you, and it's about our next story. Were you a Nintendo guy growing up? Like, were you even a video game guy growing up?
Dude, I was a Atari.
Oh, I'm dating myself.
I was playing Pong.
Sure.
Hey, look, if you hit it hard, you can make it spin this way. Yeah. Moving invisible space invaders was the highest level I got to. But yeah, no, by that time, no, I wasn't really a big computer game guy.
I had a Nintendo 64. And it was lime green, like the old kind of green of our show. It was like the transparent. It was like my prized possession.
Yeah.
My aunt's boyfriend stole it, and he ended up going back to like his home country because she used to sing.
His home country?
Yeah, she like sings on cruise ships. So
this is international theft.
Yeah, like my boy
Holy
took my Nintendo 64. So any of our listeners, if y'all want to make it right and give me a lime green Nintendo 64 for childhood trauma, send it here on Cherry Street, and I got nothing but love for you because they took it from me, man.
You're gonna have to disclose that.
Yeah, I mean, probably clear cut. Anyway, let's talk Nintendo real fast because 24 states, including Nintendo and other companies, are suing President Trump over tariffs.
Why is Nintendo the lead on this? Because it's interesting. Because it's like Costco and
yeah,
Nintendo and what was it like 300,000 other companies.
And this is it was a huge piece on this, and I'm not sure if you're into rap, but like there's a video game company.
Depending on what year.
It's called Aftermath, which is Dr. Dre's label.
Oh, yeah.
So Aftermath is
Dr.
actually...
Dre's Super Bowl halftime was fantastic.
Oh, so
anyways,
good.
Go ahead.
So good. No. I mean, we can talk
Dr.
about that.
Dre, come on.
We love the West Coast.
Amen.
But Aftermath, according to them, they basically put out gaming giant Nintendo has filed a lawsuit against the U.S. government seeking refunds for tariffs. They have filed its complaint in the U.S. Court of International Trade, arguing the administration unlawfully used IEEPA to impose tariffs on goods imported from multiple countries. The company says that government collected billions of dollars in duties from importers under the emergency authority before the Supreme Court ruled the policy invalid.
Yeah.
All right. So they're primarily, of course, in Vietnam and China, making the company particularly exposed to the tariffs, which is why I guess they're getting ahead of it because, I mean, this is the majority of their business.
You better jump in now because at some point it may get cut off and they're still trying to figure out what the mechanisms are. So people are filing and are trying to figure things out, right? The big part of this is, in my opinion, the big part of this story is not only motivations behind it, right? But the SCOTUS ruling in February was you can't use IEEPA.
Nope.
Wasn't that the tariffs are illegal? It was the basis or the argument of why he thought he had the authority to do it, right? And he knew that before he did it.
For sure.
He
No
knew
doubt
he's
about
playing
it.
chess. Now they're arguing Section 122, which he said, nah, now I can do 10 to 15 and things are going to get worse. That's what this is attacking is that 122, not necessarily IEEPA. I mean, it is, but it brings that into question now.
Okay.
Of whether that actually, because part of their lawsuit names that that Section 122 does not give him the authority to do it either. It gives it to Congress.
No, yes.
So that's part of the argument going on now. So that's really, in my mind, the really intriguing part of this. Because, of course, the companies are going to line up and see if they can get some money back.
No doubt.
Right? But they can eat through this. It didn't affect tariffs or it didn't affect inflation or anything like that. So the money isn't really the big thing, in my opinion. I think it's the attack on 122 to remove that.
Yeah.
From a political standpoint, the states and the people who are backing this and pushing this are political posturing. It's a great grandstand to stand up on time, especially during midterms, to be doing that. And then the other side is really not, hey, we want to raise $1 billion or anything like that. That's not it. That's secondary, an impact of it. It's an effect. It's a benefit from it. It is having international trade leverage over our adversaries. Yeah. That's what it is. That's where the war is. I mean, because China's been playing a war for 60 years, and it was the economy. And that's what this is.
Can you answer this for me? Why the particular 24 states? Why are these states the ones that are kind of jumping in the arena right now?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look
that.
up what each 24 states are. I bet I could come up with a reason.
I mean, just at a glance.
But I don't know. It's probably headquarters of international companies, big international companies.
Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Illinois, Kentucky, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Oregon, Rhode Island, Vermont, Virginia, Washington, Wisconsin. Not a lot of southern states.
A lot of blue.
A lot of blue. So yeah, that makes sense.
A lot of import.
Yeah, a lot of import.
A lot of import.
A lot of import.
They're also big economy states.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Northeast, obviously.
Anybody not on that list that kind of surprises you?
No, not really.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Not really.
Like that feels a
No, it feels right, but there's many, and you can slant it any way you want. You can call it politics, where their representatives land and who's in midterms. You could go into all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you can find an argument for all kinds of political actions for this. It's money, and it's control. Is what it is, and that's not necessarily a nefarious or a political thing, but it is. States. The one thing I like about it.
What's up?
Decentralization of power.
That's valid.
As a side, I'm on
valid.
that.
That's valid.
You know what I'm saying?
100% do.
The states being able to control their
100%.
own economies more, 100% on that side of the argument. Being
that.
able to use tariffs to fight an economic war that we can't seem to be able to do it because we argue too much in this country. I'm also for that, which is the opposite side. So, anyways. We've beaten that horse.
For more information, y'all, of course, check out the website, FreightWaves.com. That is live as well. Now, I want to get to what I think is the juiciest story of the day.
Oh, all right.
This one is coming out of a state that I just mentioned in Connecticut. All right. Connecticut man has now pleaded guilty to charges of wire fraud in connection with a scheme to defraud Amazon by fraudulently making claims for trailer movements that didn't actually take place. All right. This is over $3 million in fraud involving these trailers. His name is Amir Nasir. He's 25. He pleaded guilty last week in the U.S. District Court for Connecticut, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office for the state. All right. So the scheme began in December 2019, went through early 2021, and he was not indicted or arrested until 2025. So what he would do essentially is he set up 23 trucking companies that registered with Amazon Logistics, but then he actually got into their TMS and manipulated the system to make it seem like these things delivered when in all reality they didn't. So he would contract with Amazon Logistics to move a trailer, both empty or containing freight, but this never happened. So basically hacked into Amazon Relay, TMS, and did the thing. But to evade a geofence, what he did was a manual override, fraudulently misrepresenting Amazon Logistics that he, via the accounts he set up, had completed trailer movements, which in fact he had not completed. And he submitted invoices and did this MV 1,000 times, dog. So my question to you before we just get into it, I always ask you initial thoughts, but $3.5 million, is it worth going to jail for up to 20 years? Yes or no?
Wow, no, not 3.5 million.
I'm gonna double down and say hell no.
Hell no. And you know, the older you get, the higher that value goes.
Dog.
The higher that price goes. You know what I mean?
Man, he's free right now on a $300,000 bond. And
now, the other, a $300,000.
$300,000 bond.
Yeah.
His mama or somebody had to come up. Boy, my mom would be so mad. I'd probably have to stay in there.
Oh yeah, there's nobody bailing me out.
My mom would be like, hey, I love you.
Ain't nobody bailing me out.
Nah.
No. Yeah, no. What's your price?
My price
20 years.
For 20 years? It'd have to be nothing, man. 20 years is a long time in jail.
When I was 20 years old, and if I could get the $3.5 million when I got out in 20 years, potentially max 20 years, I might have taken that bet. But no way.
3.5, I mean, for 20 years.
When I was 20, $3.5 million was a lot.
It was a lot, yeah. Would you do it today for 100 mil?
No, man.
Jail is a tough lifestyle.
No.
That's not Orange is the New Black. Like, it's like...
No, and I worked inside prisons. That price ain't worth it.
No,
that price ain't worth it. That price ain't worth it. But this guy was a dog. He was... This is another one. It's like the Louisiana Slammers.
Yeah.
This has got to be a movie.
It's incredible.
1,000 times. He was basically scamming them and then validating his own stuff.
I wonder how he got caught.
Like, this really happened.
Genuinely, like, I wonder how he got caught. Do you think they were auditing or something on the back end? Like, because it was 4 years later.
Well, it seems to me like they were auditing. They found it and they ignored it because it's embarrassing as hell. And then somebody figured it out and they decided they had to prosecute.
Well, Amir
and expose it. That's what I think. And they should hire this guy. Who
honestly,
can he work from prison? Get into a work from prison program, and he could work for somebody at TMS for security.
I mean, if
that's what they used to do in a day, right?
If I'm like the top dogs at Amazon, I'm bringing them to my office and be like, "How did you do this? Show me the security parameters that you went around to secure our business, so this doesn't happen again."
When the iPhones first came out, there's people jailbreaking them all the time, and Apple would hire them.
Yeah. I worked for a cybersecurity company for a little bit, and like there were legitimate hackers that had done some time that were hired just because they were that good. You know, it's like a good guy versus a bad guy with a weapon. You know, and I'd rather have a good guy with a weapon than a bad guy with a weapon. So.
I don't know. I'm just gonna shout out to Jordan Graff. Maybe Amazon needs to look into Highway or something like that.
Yeah.
Figure out how to onboard carriers a little
For sure.
better.
You can read more on this one as well for Amir. It's a very interesting read. You can go get that as well. Now, Stuart has been a very busy writer, and there's more happening because we have an exclusive 10,000 ship crews are trapped by Strait on the Hormuz blockade. All right, so this is happening again. Thousands of ship crews and hundreds of vessels are trapped in the Persian Gulf as the war with Iran has spread. 3 cargo vessels in the region were hit overnight by projectiles of unknown origin, setting 1 vessel ablaze, according to a British security monitor. More than 10,000 merchant mariners and hundreds of ships are now trapped in the Gulf. Shipping executives meeting in Stamford, Connecticut told FreightWaves, and most operators are unwilling to risk the safety of crews and potentially dead crossing of the strait. So,
Yeah.
crazy stuff happening right now.
It is crazy. I saw one report saying, and the issue is getting worse. Well, no, there's not more and more vessels.
No.
There's no way into or out of except through the strait. So they're not building more ships and putting them in there with crew. But there's 10,000 people stuck out there. And I mean, and that's the real, I mean, it's crazy. The big issue here, I mean, obviously there's a humanitarian with these guys, right?
doubt.
And hopefully they won't be. An extra week or so is not that big a deal to them. It really isn't. I mean, it might be to you and I, but these guys live on these things for months and months at a time.
Yeah.
And it's not the greatest job in many cases, as we've seen in different reports. The living conditions and working conditions suck and are subhuman in many instances. It's really rough. Anyways. So yeah, that's bad. But then you have, like Trump put out $20 billion. I mean, that to me is like the story that needs to be covered after this, right? That's there. But then, so Trump's putting out $20 million. He said, hey, oil tanker guys, why don't you guys toughen up and just go through here? You got some of them that are going blank, they're going black and trying to slide through. You had, I think, 3 or 4 ships hit over the last 24 hours with projectiles or something like that. We said we're going to, 20 times the hellfire coming down if you do anything to anybody, which they've done. So what's going to be the impact there? And then the political ramifications of, does anybody take Trump up on $20 billion? First of all, for them, right? Because $20 billion, that's great. But the point is, the crew could die.
Well, I was just going to get to that because, I mean, I know we joke around a lot. 8 maritime workers have died in attacks since the war began.
Yeah.
While 7 U.S. military personnel have also had their lives taken. There have been 10 suspected attacks on merchant shipping in the region since the U.S. and Israel attacked Iran on February 28th.
Yeah. So it's the human loss that's there. I mean, I get the insurance and the money thing is there, but you got to think, okay, well, we're insured. Let's go. Well, what about the 10,000 crew?
Yep.
And then you get into the whole, if they were to take Trump up on it, what does that do? Are we now subsidizing oil getting to China? Because that oil ain't coming here.
Okay, that is such a,
you know what I mean?
Boy, we can talk about that for 2
And
minutes.
oil coming this way. It's going to China. We don't get any of that oil.
No.
So, the only thing is, price, our oil prices.
Yeah, for sure.
Which shouldn't be tied to it anyways, but that's another.
Are you buying with this next story and our final one before we get to Tim?
Okay.
This UPS, basically their angle. They're navigating Amazon drawdown and a hard pivot to premium services. So what they're saying is that the cost reduction program, guys, that we mentioned a few shows ago, is not shrinking the company, but rather positioning it for profitable growth as it navigates a glide down in Amazon volumes to chase higher margin business and short distance courier service, is what a top executive said last week. So according to their CFO, Brian Dykes, as we come out of the second quarter, we'll have more of an agile, more profitable network that we can grow off of with the right type of volume. Now, my question to you, Michael Vincent, is are you buying this smoke? Or is this truly just a reshuffle of the deck? It sounds like, hey, like we're laying folks off and we're doing all this, but like it is just to become more agile, or is there more to this than what UPS is leading on?
Well, I think that everything that, in my opinion, everything that he said is true. I don't think it's smoke. I think the smoke and the cover up the mirrors is the catalyst, the causation of why this is here. This has been happening for 20 years.
For sure.
Basically, Amazon just said, checkmate. And now UPS and even FedEx are now going, oh crap, what are we going to do now? Because they have to raise those, because they can't just say, oh, well, we're not going to do Amazon. Well, okay, so how's UPS going to do this when now your final mile, which is what you do,
Talk about it.
Right? And now you don't have the density, which you absolutely have to have in order to make it not only profitable, but break even. You can't go down the road into a neighborhood and have a delivery. You have to have 20 deliveries. You know what I'm saying? That's how LTL works. You can't live in LTL if you go pick up one shipment at a place. You got to pick up 5, 10 bill of ladings at a time and deliver those.
You're not going to be.
Otherwise, you're out of business.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I don't think it's smoke and mirrors. The causation, they're not really talking about the fact that Amazon has been laying this groundwork for a long time.
For a long time.
I was asked 11 years ago on TV, is Amazon ever going to compete? And I said, yeah, they already are. Well, there you go.
There you go. You guys.
UPS and FedEx are completely changing their business models because Amazon.
From A to Z. From A to Z. You guys can check this out as well. Shout out to Erica as well. This is a really good, well drawn up piece. Fantastic writing.
Love it.
And shout out to you too. I mean, headlines were normally great, but like you put up a generational stat line, like 83 points, last night. You catch that, Bam Adebayo?
I'm so mad that I didn't, because I flipped past that game probably 20 times last night while I was also working, but I did. And then I saw the headline this morning. I was like, son, Malcolm's going to just roast me for this.
When I tell you, all right, so I watched the tail end of it because I was seeing the first quarter. I just finished running. He had 31 points, all right? And then from there, around the second quarter, in the second, had about a 50 ball. I was like, all right, so they're going to take him out. He's going to get 60, 65.
Crazy.
Well, at the end of the third, he had 70. And I'm like, nah, he's not going to break Kobe's 81. This guy broke Kobe's 81. They were triple teaming him. It was insane. So you are my Bam Adebayo today because he put up 83.
I am.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
You were hooping.
I was going to ask you, okay, so here's the thing, right? So not to take away from Bam Adebayo's his skill, right? Because I will argue with anybody. NBA players, best athletes on the planet.
I agree.
Period, the end.
I agree.
Even if you just want to break it down to most in shape, okay, that's fine, because they play full court basketball for 60 minutes and then tell me how.
But hitting that baseball is the hardest thing to do in sports. I'll just be honest.
You know what? Why is it? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hitting that baseball is the hardest thing you can do in sports, period.
I get it 100%. And why do you have to have complete silence to hit a stationary ball on the ground?
He beats me, man.
I don't know either, but I played both, and it's still hard to hit either one for me. No. But so here's the question. Anybody on that court, not excluding your man crush, LeBron, could drain 83 in that time period.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah.
They all have the skill to break out and do it.
100%.
Or a vast majority of them really do. I mean, Luka Doncic.
That was my first pick.
Right?
I was going to say, Luka could get an 83 ball.
Hell yeah, he could.
Yeah.
Brunson could get it.
Yeah.
I know you don't like him all.
I don't, but he could get it.
But he could get it.
He could get it.
He could break out and get it.
For sure.
And you've seen games where it started off like they're going to get it, and then they don't, right? So is it more that Bam just kicks ass, or that the defense just sucked?
The Wizards suck, dude. They suck. Like, when I tell you it was bad, like, it makes me think.
So
like,
he didn't score that against the bad boys from Detroit.
Dude
in
had 43 free throw
right?
attempts. Like, I'm not trying to discredit his body of work, but hell no.
No, I'm not trying to say that either. I'm just asking.
But it's not ethical hoops, and I'll just leave it there.
Right.
It is not ethical. Like, Kobe's was a nice 81. This guy was like, yo, I'm going to get fouled. Like, 43, I mean, him and Wilt are the only folks
McCaffrey goes off for 300 yards and 7 touchdowns. Is it McCaffrey, or is it that the defensive line of the Browns suck?
You have been making sense. All right, let's shift to Tim because he has been in the bullpen again. He is the chief executive officer and a repeat guest here at What the Truck, Mr. Tim Crawford. Tim, we're just having fun with it. What's up, brother?
Hey, good morning, guys. That was an amazing performance last night. All the caveats withstanding.
Oh man, it was crazy. It was crazy. I never thought I would see Kobe's record being broken. It was wild.
Yep,
It was awesome.
Agreed.
Oh man. Well. Go ahead. No, please.
I was just going to say,
please.
Tim, I researched guests to find some personal history and things like that. And I was looking and I saw, Tulsa University. Ain't nobody ever came from Tulsa University. And then I looked up the 10 most or the 100 top notables, right? I'm sitting there, I'm reading off this list of Malcolm. He's like, damn, holy cow. Ah. We got a little montage of these guys. Dr. Phil, Lovey Smith, Paul Harvey, good day. Steve Largent, right? Sam Ratigliano. And my personal favorite on the right-hand side there, number 7, Bingo Smith, the Miracle in Richfield Cavaliers. And of course, Tim Crawford.
Tim Crawford. I'm taking Tim Crawford over Steve Largent all time.
We'd have had to pay too much in royalties to put up Tim's picture, though. That's the problem.
I think there's some sort of some violation of some decency law somewhere. I think is more likely the fact.
Yeah, the Miracle in Richfield, first ever playoff appearance by the Cavaliers. That's Bingo Smith. Thank you, Tulsa University. Dude. There you go. I might be in that crowd.
Look at that.
There you go.
Yeah, and shout out to the guys in the back too. Production.
Look at that.
This is
87-85 over the Bullets was the big was the Miracle.
Deep cuts.
Some deep cuts.
Yeah. There you go. Look at that.
Cool.
Look at that stuff there. We had to colorize that film.
Well, Tim, since the last show, was in 2025, and it's been a minute. What have you been up to? And talk to me a little bit about things that you're seeing right now when it comes to the industry and just the outlook here in 2026 so far, as we are about to be in Q2.
Yeah, no kidding. How is that possible?
I don't know.
It's been a really interesting couple of months. I think when we talked last time, I probably said something along the lines of, hey, fewer drivers are on the market. Drivers have been really hesitant. The drivers that are in the market seem to be pretty motivated, and they're pretty serious job seekers. But everybody's kind of sitting out. And that was true up until really December. And November, December is weird because it's holiday time. But man, so far in 26, what we've seen that's been super interesting is our average client in 25 was seeing fewer lead applications, but more full applications, right? Fewer guys, but more motivated guys. That's exactly flipped in 26. I flip a light switch kind of thing. In 26, what we've seen is the number of lead applications that our average client is seeing is up 20 points over 25. Right? A huge change. While the number of full applications is flat to slightly down. And to me, what that says is, man, the news around non-dom drivers, ELP, fraudulent ELD guys, whatever, pick your story, right? About driver capacity coming out of the market. Drivers are leaning in, trying to go, okay, well, hey, main event, what's happening? What's about to change? And drivers that in 25 may not have been leaning forward are now going, hey, let me go look. Maybe the grass is greener. And while the full applications, right, there's still not guys going through the process all the way. There's still a degree of caution. Man, there's a lot of guys leaning forward. And one of my big beliefs is that the drivers have a sort of a front row seat to sort of market volatility. And they get what's going on in a way that, those of us who aren't on the front lines are getting second and third hand. And they're voting with their feet every time they hit that apply now button. And there is enough people seeing enough things that going, oh, hey, I'm going to hit that apply now button now. And I think it's really interesting. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out. What was it? The DOT rule comes in March 16th.
Yeah.
The most recent one, something like that.
Yeah. It's
anyway.
interesting. So there are fewer drivers jumping ship looking for a new job, or actually making that jump right now, or attempting to. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, both of those things are true.
Both of those things are true. And is it? do we have any knowledge of exactly what their mindset is, or are we kind of just taking educated guesses because of all the turmoil that is there, which there is so much right now, right?
For sure.
Is the economy jumping? Is it not jumping? We're not talking about technology. This is political and or economical issues, right?
No, I think you're exactly right. We saw a blip in October when the first last year when the first news story started to hit about in a big way about the volume of non-domicile drivers, the volume of ELP stuff. When the ICE stuff really started to kick in trucking world, we started to see the first inklings of what drivers were reacting to that. And then it quickly sort of petered out, either because the news cycle moved on or it got to be holiday time when application volume typically tanks. But now it's kicking up in a way that it certainly did in October. And when it happened in January, we looked and said, okay, is that the big wave or is that the tide, right? Data's volatile, things happen. And when we saw it continue in February, we're like, oh, okay, now, hey, let's pay some attention to this, right? And so it definitely seems that the driver community is looking forward. And my pet theory has been turnover has been artificially held down by the freight recession, with the result being, hey, there's a lot of drivers at carriers that probably in ordinary situations wouldn't still be there. Just being frank.
So I got another question.
Now they're going, Tim, hey, wait a minute, maybe I should think about it.
Tim, I just wanted to interrupt right there because you said the turnover is being held down by economics. I was hoping, and so were a lot of drivers, I would imagine, and some other companies, that maybe it's caused by people actually working on retention. Do you see any positive impact from that? Can you add anything to that, or say this I see is probably impacting it in a good way, or have companies just been using that as a buzzword BS, like, hey, make $1.25 a mile, join us?
I mean, it's really hard to generalize about what carriers are doing broadly around retention.
Yeah.
And I've been around the industry 30 years, which is weird, but and retention's been sort of the buzzword in most of those 30 years, right?
He's making fun of me right now, by the way, Tim. He's making fun of me because I'm 31, and he's like, you've been doing this longer than I've damn near been alive. I know what you're doing, Michael Vincent.
Well,
these young bucks, huh, Tim? These young bucks,
I'm gonna process that.
Doesn't even know how to spell diesel.
Yeah. I need to find my walker to find my way out of my office.
Stop it.
And so it's I think broadly speaking, if I was going to generalize, we don't see there's being a wholesale sort of sea change in terms of how carriers are thinking about retention. I mean, there's definitely some notable exceptions, right? But it's not broadly true. Right. And we caution some clients, we're like, look, don't hurt your arm patting yourself on your back that you're doing a great job on retention. If what you're really doing is benefiting from drivers' concern about moving to the next thing.
That makes sense. Now, I want to talk to you specifically about compliance, because compliance is the trending topic. No, it never stops. Is there anything? I mean, I'm sure there's quite a few things, but what should fleets really be paying attention to in terms of compliance in 2026 that necessarily weren't on the radar in 2025?
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, the hard thing about compliance, especially when it comes to hiring drivers, is that a lot of the rules are set not in regulations and not in really well articulated policies. They're set by case law handled in a million different jurisdictions around relatively technical interpretations of the laws as case law is being developed, which makes it really hard from a carrier perspective. Right. And so I think it's one of those that we recommend that if you haven't looked at your process from start to finish, from a driver's perspective and from a compliance perspective with an expert on, employment law, that's a really good thing to go do. right? Hey, is all the T's and C's, on the, authorization disclosure language, is it compliant with the latest case law coming out of these technical FCRA decisions, right? And making sure that there's not somebody, you're not leaving yourself open to sort of, risk you didn't even know was out there, right? Especially as the market shifts, and as I believe it will, even with relatively flat freight volumes, I think we're coming into a space where drivers are going to go from being slightly less scarce to slightly more scarce. And carriers that historically have been able to say, oh yeah, hey, look, we're not going to run as many people through the process. We'll raise our hiring criteria. As those start to come down, I think what happens is they're running more background checks on more people, and that's where more people get into compliance challenges of making sure you dot all the I's and cross all the T's when you run those background checks, right? Have to do it, right? Negligent hiring, insurance compliance, all the things, you have to go do it, but you got to be careful about how you do it.
Yeah, and that would be a disincentive for some drivers to not look to jump ship or even test the water because people may dig into their past. Given the current climate, I would imagine there's a number of drivers keeping their head low.
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think, those drivers are probably already off the radar. I think what's happening is, I think you end up with this knock-on effect that as spot market rates sort of ease up a little bit, and then contract rates sort of come on, and just the overall tenor in the industry gets a little better, right? When people have a little more room to breathe, I think you're going to see more drivers leaving, even if they weren't even close to any of those things that with their backgrounds might get them in trouble. Where it can get carriers in trouble is, hey, if you don't have all your you haven't been in this environment in a while. Hey, if you don't have all your processes buttoned up around, the adverse action letter notices that go out to drivers and all the other sort of, way to the right of the decimal point details, you can end up with a lawsuit that can be really costly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Talk to me a little bit about the driver experience here in 2026, because things have evolved, of course. And when it comes to drivers specifically, I know there's been some ups, there's definitely been some downs. People have kind of taken advantage of certain areas and aspects of the market, but others have, been ran out of service due to certain things. What has the driver experience been like?
Yeah, I think what's interesting is even in this down market, and even with drivers being slightly less scarce, and it's a really nuanced reality what we see in the market. What we've continued to see is that the average driver is at least dipping their toe in the market on average around every 4 months, right? In this market where drivers are slightly less scarce, hey, it might be every 4.2 months, whereas before it was every 3.7, right? And so there's a meaningful move, but it's still a lot, right? And what we see drivers doing is, and this is totally rational economic behavior, right? They're putting their toe in the water. What are the basic pay packages? And essentially, how much do I believe that recruiter? How much credibility they have? And the biggest difference we see between hired and not hired drivers isn't really in any of the qualifications. Like, to the extent you can quantify things, you can't point to, not hired drivers have more accidents or more violations. As there's certainly people like that don't get hired, but on average, drivers who apply and don't end up hiring on with that carrier, it's not because of anything about the driver, it's about how the driver feels about the carrier.
So it's rejected offers, not rejected applicants is the
exactly. Or just, hey, I get 5%, 10% in your process, and I ghost you.
Yeah,
I didn't believe that recruiter. I'm out. I'll try again another 4 months. And so that is the biggest determining factor. It's not driver qualifications. That's important. That's necessary, but it's not sufficient. The key thing is, hey, how he's just not that into you, right? If you just want to sort of shorthand it, that's essentially what it ends up being.
Malcolm's favorite movie.
That's actually a really good movie.
He still gets the reference, right?
I'm about to turn magenta right now,
He
y'all.
loves that
Come on
movie.
now.
He quotes it all the time.
Oh,
What about new? So You're talking about drivers, basically flip-flopping, going from one carrier to another carrier. What's your sense and what's going on with new drivers coming out of CDL? Do you have exposure to that? Do you have view into that, especially with shutting down of CDLs? And do you see where that might be going? Do you have a crystal ball that you can tell us what's going to move forward?
It's been relatively flat of late. And I think the big picture is, the trucking economy has been a bit disconnected from the macro economy writ large. And if we start to see more jobs reports like we saw most recently, and unemployment ticks up, I think you're going to see more people go, hey, look, it's time to go get a job. And I can get a job in driving a truck. But of late, it has been relatively flat, and I'll be curious to see if that reverses itself over the next couple of quarters.
Yeah. Very interesting.
Very interesting stuff indeed. Tim, thank you so much for coming on the show. And then also a special thank you. I saw the list of top podcasts in 2026, and somebody was up at the tippy top from Tenstreet, and it was What the Truck. So thank you guys for that list.
What?
I appreciate it. I wanted to save it for
well, we're going to get him into the top 100 alumni of Tulsa University. We'll start the voting right now.
I promise you, I will flood the voting box to make sure you're in the top 100.
You know, the other thing I was going to bring up is you got to go in and just Google your name and hit images and see what page you show up on. The picture of you.
Oh dear.
That's your other fame. It's your
claim to fame.
It is.
Face made for radio. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's a good challenge, but you'll break the 100 because it's got to be living, right? It's got to be a breathing thing.
Easy.
You got to break into it. We'll get you in there, brother. We'll get you in there.
Tim, as always, we appreciate you.
It'll go Sam Ratigliano and then to Tim Crawford.
Yeah, Tim is the man. He is the man.
He might even beat Sam Ratigliano. I don't remember who he was.
Well, we got a little bit of time left, and I want to get to the managing director at Republic Partners to talk a little M&A. Because you can't spell Malcolm without M&A. And joining the show now, you like that, didn't you? I know you did. Jonathan Britva. Jonathan, you are now on What the Truck. What's going on, brother?
Hey, guys. How are you?
Doing well. It's good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. Good.
Glad that you are on. You have something for Jonathan, don't you?
I did. I actually did Google your name in images. And assuming that I spelled it correctly, you are the first 4 pictures. An image. And they're not bad pictures. They're not like mug shots or anything like photos. That. But it's rare that to meet somebody when you Google their name and hit images, you're the first picture. You're the first 4. Now, in comparison, Malcolm...
I might need to look into that.
Yeah, well, you might, because there's a couple, I don't know. But in comparison, Malcolm was 4th.
I got to Final 4, man.
He got into the Final 4. If you look me up, you'll go 5 pages, and then you'll see a picture of Cheech Marion, and I'm still not there. There's literally 4 pages of people who remember Jan Michael Vincent before you get to my picture.
You're the number 1 Michael Vincent in my heart, and in all the What the Truck universe. So.
But congratulations, my friend. You're one of very few people that are in the top 4 that I know, and been on What the Truck.
Thank you.
Well, Jonathan, before we get into the market and your Google images, I want to give us an overview of Republic as well as the current work that you guys are doing at Republic Partners and kind of your role there as well.
Yeah, so we're an investment banking firm and M&A advisory business to privately held, family-owned, and entrepreneurial-led transportation, logistics, and supply chain businesses. We forge long-term, high-value advisory relationships with clients, and we strive to understand their business and strategic priorities intimately. We strive to always do the right thing, be a good partner for our clients, and achieve desired outcomes. So we've been in business for over 26 years. Our team is based in Chicago, and we've also got a couple of team members in New York as well.
You know, Jonathan, I know a number of companies that are looking to take advantage of the current environment in logistics and basically gain market share through acquiring competitors and small distressed companies, et cetera, that type of thing. I'm curious if how does that translate to the broader logistics market in your space?
So we've seen, just from a current M&A environment, I think we've seen a fairly interesting last couple of years. I think we came out of COVID, which was a crazy time, both for transportation logistics companies, but also for folks who were doing deals and looking at acquisitions and transactions. I think the environment today is definitely more stabilized after that volatility of call it 2021 to 2023. Mm-hmm. Buyers are definitely more disciplined today. We've seen plenty of capital still out there, but buyers are getting a lot more disciplined in the types of businesses that they're looking at and kind of what's important to them. I think strategic buyers are continuing to look for capabilities, technology, density, new service offerings, what else they can sell to their customer base, and then what I'll call A+ assets, which are just high quality, well run, large businesses. Those, they're still commanding premium valuations from buyers. So I'd say the deal environment has a ton of potential. We think 26 is going to be a good year in the market, especially because we're starting to see some normalization or improvement in financial performance. And then you've got a lot of private equity firms who own businesses that they bought in 21 or 22. They're reaching, call it 5-6 years in their hold period, and those businesses need to start transacting. So we think it's going to be a more normalized and healthy deal environment in 26.
Now, Jonathan, I want to talk about preparation real fast. There's a saying, the 5 Ps: prior preparation prevents poor performance. All right. That's a staple I got from my old man. I want to ask, why do founders in these different companies, why are they not that prepared when it comes to making these acquisitions or these splash moves? And is there anything that you've seen that companies can do better to prepare for the big moments, such as acquisition?
Yeah, I think a lot of businesses are, a lot of founders they know how to run their business. They built a great business, and they look at everything through that lens. Most of them have never been through a transaction before. And I think it's harder for a lot of founders to imagine all that goes into a transaction. I think they understand what a transaction is, and maybe some of what goes into it, but I don't think they understand the full process in many cases of what you need to do to get yourself prepared and ready for a successful outcome. As I said earlier, buyers are getting disciplined. They're getting smarter. Just from even when I first started doing this, they're asking the right types of questions. They're focusing on the right areas within a business. And so I think for folks who are not prepared or haven't been through that process before, it can be scary to think about all that you need to do in order to go through a transaction. So I think there's a lot that can be done by founders to get themselves prepared. But I think oftentimes they just aren't aware of those things ahead of time.
So, I mean, if they're prepared for going through the transaction, right? Post-transaction failure or regret, right? Mm-hmm. The hangover the next morning of, holy crap, I didn't realize integrating these cultures is going to work, right? That can be not thwarted, but it can be mitigated through proper preparation and investigating and picking the right partner, not just a deal that could go through and looks great financially, right? Can you talk about that, what those type of preparations need to be, what they need to look at, or what your advice would be?
You're talking about on who that counterparty is that they're
you're looking for this. You're prepared for you've got yourself ready to do a transaction. You understand all the things that are going to go through this, and you've got this transaction on this deal on the table that looks financially great. What are some of the mistakes beyond that people make that they need to look at to potentially avoid failure?
Sure. Yeah, I think, look, valuation is great, right? But there's other components to a deal. Structure, structure is a big thing, or the structure of a transaction, right? So, I think most people tell you if you had a $30 million offer and you had a $20 million offer, the $30 million offer is clearly superior. I think what you might not, know from the front of that is maybe that $30 million offer only comes with, 50% of cash up front, and the rest is through some sort of performance incentive. While the $20 million offer might be 90% cash and 10% through some sort of performance earnout. So in that scenario, someone may say, actually, the $20 million offer is better than the 30. So I think really understanding the structure of a transaction is just as important as the valuation. As far as sort of softer factors, I think cultural alignment is critical. How that buyer is looking at your business for growth. Are you aligned on strategy? Are they going to invest behind the team? There are so many factors that, is the buyer financially capable? Are they a good fit? Are they a good home? I think there's a lot of factors that come into play post just what the valuation and structure of the deal is, but can 1 plus 1 become 3? Or is there going to be some sort of mitigating factor or something that really later on calls into question the fit of that deal?
Those are excellent points. Thank you for that, because I've been involved in one where an acquisition occurred and we were all, this is awesome. Yeah. And when we got into it, the future was not as rosy as we thought it was going to be, because the capital to do the things that we thought we were going to do once the purchase was in weren't actually there. Right. So being careful, like you said, looking at actually what does that structure look like and what money and capital for growth, how that's going to lay out is incredibly important, because it can sound and look really great, but if you don't do your homework, you can regret it.
Jonathan, I want to put you in the 2-minute drill right now with 2 questions. All right. And I need you to think quick and on your feet. All right.
He's got to score 83 points.
All right. I need you to score 83 like Bam Adebayo last night. Be efficient. All right. So
crazy.
That was nuts. And I wish I could talk to you about it for the next 15 minutes because we have a lot to unpack. But if someone in our audience right now runs a brokerage, what's the most attractive thing right now in logistics from an acquisition standpoint that they should be looking into?
Sorry, I think I had my internet cut out. Could you repeat that?
No, yeah, I was going to say, if someone in our audience right now is running a brokerage or they're in logistics and have a business, what's the most attractive thing that they should be looking into right now?
To better themselves?
Yeah, okay. If we fast forward 5 years from now, what do you think the transportation and logistics industry is going to look like from an investment and consolidation standpoint?
Okay. I think your first question is, what can they do to better their business? Is that right?
Yeah, it's in that vein.
Yeah. So look, I think what buyers are focused on and what companies need to do, even if they're a couple years out from a transaction, to put themselves in the best position. I think you want to make sure you've got some sort of specialized service offering. We're seeing that's a critical different, something that makes you different, unique, not just a commoditized service provider. I think that's really important. Diversifying your customer base is critical. Buyers really focus on what's called customer concentration, how much of your revenue is tied up or profits in a certain customer. I think you can make sure you've got a deep bench for the basketball term of leadership. It can't just be the founder. There's got to be a team behind him. I think that's really, really important and something buyers look for. And then, are you growing? It's not just about growth. We used to sort of focus on growth as the ultimate avenue, growing the top line. That's changed. I think profitable growth is what people are really looking at. Definitely. If you're going to bring in that new piece of business, you want to make sure it's going to, at a minimum, keep your margins consistent, if not enhance them. So it's not just growing for the sake of growing, but it's really growing profitably. So I think that's really the areas that I would advise on, and I think where buyers are really focused.
Jonathan Britva again with Republic Partners. Hey, Jonathan, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I cannot wait to get you back on the show.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thanks, John.
Hey, road ahead, real quick. Bernard Jenkins, he is with Knight Swift, as well as David Mendelson with Super Dispatch. We'll see you on Friday. It's peace, it's love. Bye, guys.
Peace and love.